Unfortunately, the rally at the St. Louis Arts Day has been postponed due to the tornado that went through there yesterday. They just made that decision this morning. So before we get underway with the program here, the rally, I'd like to take a moment and say the Pledge of Allegiance. So if everyone can stand, face the flag, and do the Pledge of Allegiance. Flag's over here, by the way. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right. As a result of the tornadoes yesterday, I also would like to just take a moment to have a moment of silence. St. Louis was hit hard by a tornado yesterday. There were several casualties, a lot of damage. So I want to take a moment of silence to reflect on our friends in St. Louis area, all the people who were affected by the storm. Thank you. All right, so we Stand United Missouri organized today's rally in the Rotunda here. We are a 501c4 nonpartisan grassroots organization dedicated to safeguarding and strengthening our democracy. Many of our supporters live in the Jefferson City, Central Missouri area. However, we also welcome anyone to join, right? If you care about democracy, we'd love to have you join us. I want to also recognize an amazing team of volunteers that helped coordinate and organize today's event, so thank you to all the volunteers. And if you're interested in helping with future rally, check out our welcome table over here. We Stand United welcome tables over here. Over here on this side is Respect Missouri Voters. If you want to learn more about what they're doing, sign up to volunteer with them. They're over on this side. So some housekeeping real quick. No balloons. If you have a pocket full of balloons, please take them outside. Please refrain from profanity. And then one of the regulations prohibits, here's a quote from the regulation, it says, a sound level, noise, or any other activity that disrupts the business of government. I suspect we may get into some good trouble with that regulation today. So let's let them know what's really happening. Rallies cost money. Please consider donating to support our future rallies. There is a donation box here at the welcome table, and you can also contribute online. I believe there's some QR codes you can scan and do an online contribution as well. So, with all that said, it could be said that Missouri's Capitol represents the heart of our government. Today, the heart is diseased, and we want to fix that. We're here today to let politicians know we're standing up for our right to have a voice in our government, of the people, by the people, for the people. Missouri's initiative petition process is under attack. Today we're going to learn how Missouri's politicians continue to ignore the will of the people and how we can fight back. Respect Missouri Voters has a plan for keeping the initiative petition process alive. Stay tuned for how you can help out. I want to also thank you for having the courage to show up today. We're from the Show Me State. Let's show them who's in charge.
Can you hear me? All right. Nice and loud. Hello, my name is Jenny, and this is my friend Tina. We're here to welcome you and acknowledge that we have power as people. Along the line find lead, limestone, and onyx and sandstone. It talks about the agriculture. And then along the wall, it says, labor is the greatest producer of wealth. But I think the greatest producer in the state of Missouri are the people. We are the greatest resource that Missouri has to offer. And I believe that our politicians have forgotten that. And we need to remind them that true wealth is found not only in possessions, but in power and in unity. Now we know that this federal administration has been flooding the zone, and we know that our state government has dedicated its entire legislature session to overturning the will of the people and upending the proposition and the amendment that we voted for. So, if you want to participate in this, which I know you do because you're here today, I invite you to join in this communal art project we have here in the center. They flood the zone, so we put all hands on deck. So if you'd like to participate, I'd love for you to come. Trace one or both of your hands on your pencils you have there in the center of the palm. Right? Who it is you're fighting for. We have big ideals. We have big whys. We want to preserve our democracy. We want to be able to vote. We want to protect our bodily autonomy. We want to defend the workers. We want to save and protect the rights of those with disabilities. All of these are so important, and I know that behind every one of those big whys is a who. So I invite you to trace your hand and write your who, and in the future we'll be able to use that at future rallies as a reminder that we are all hands on deck. And we are grateful to be together, and we are stronger when we're together. First, coming up today, we have a speaker. Her name is Deborah Stewart. She's a retired Lincoln faculty, and she's one of the founding members of We Stand United. She's going to talk to us about the history of the initiative and petition that we have in the state of Missouri. Thank you, Deborah.
Okay, I can speak up. I taught freshmen at Lincoln. I can speak really loud. The theme of our rally today, as you have heard, is Save Our Say. Our say refers to the fact that since 1910, Missourians have, through the initiative and petition process, placed issues on the ballot that are important to them and that legislators have ignored or actively opposed. It took a decade of work by progressive leaders to persuade a majority of voters to back an initiative and referendum measure. Since then, the Missouri Constitution has been amended 182 times. A resounding 155 of those amendments originated in the legislature, with only 27 amendments originating through the initiative petition process. This means that 85% of the changes to our Constitution came from legislators, not us. For more than 110 years, Missouri citizens have had the right to propose laws or constitutional amendments through the IR process. It has only been used when Missourians feel that their elected officials aren't listening to them, and it has been used across the political spectrum. It is a tradition and process rooted in fairness. When a majority of voters vote yes on a ballot measure, it passes. Placing an amendment or proposition on the ballot in Missouri is not easy. In fact, it is arduous. The Secretary of State must approve the petition, making sure it doesn't violate the Constitution. Then, organizers must gather approximately 260,000 signatures. All signatures must be accompanied by an address, and the person signing must be registered to vote at that address. Organizers routinely gather tens of thousands of extra signatures, knowing that some of them will be tossed for various reasons. After the signatures are gathered and verified, the issue will appear on the ballot if approved. Then, if 50% plus one of the voters vote in favor of the proposition, it passes. That is democracy. That is... Just over the past 15 years alone, Missourians have used the IR process to enact important legislation. In 2010, we protected animals from cruelty by passing Proposition B, or what became known as the Puppy Mill Act. It requires large-scale dog breeders to provide humane treatment, and it makes puppy mill cruelty a misdemeanor. In 2014, we fought for victims of sexual assault with the passage of Amendment 2, titled Evidence in Sexual Crimes Against Minors. It allows evidence of prior criminal acts to be admissible in prosecution for sexual crimes involving victims under age 18. In 2018, we demanded reform, passing what became known as the Clean Missouri Act, or as it appeared on the ballot, the Lobbying, Campaign Finance, and Redistricting Initiative. Also in 2018, we passed Proposition B, the $12 an hour minimum wage initiative. And just last year, 2024, we continued to fight for workers with the passage of Proposition A, the minimum wage and paid sick time law, which seeks to increase the minimum wage incrementally. Planned to reach $15 an hour in 2026, and to require employers to provide 1 hour of paid sick leave for every 30 hours worked. Also in 2024, we championed and passed Amendment 3, the right to reproductive freedom. This right was stripped from Missouri women when this state became the first in the nation to enact a trigger law after Roe v. Wade was overturned by the Supreme Court in 2022. The legislative majority in Missouri has not been content to let the will of the voters stand. A number of the amendments and propositions put in place by the hard work and determination of Missourians have already been overturned, and the legislature is currently working to repeal others. In fact, they want to change the rules entirely. They want to make sure an initiative petition never happens again. We say no. We are witnessing politicians working to change the rules to silence the voice of citizens with the intent to diminish majority rule. Already, with the passage of SB 22, which the governor has signed, power has been taken away from voters and given to politicians and the courts. On the issue of summary statements for ballot measures, the statement must now be submitted to the circuit court, which is empowered to determine if it is insufficient or unfair, in which case the court may make suggested revisions, but must also order the Secretary of State to prepare a new summary statement. In an attempt to run out the clock, the Secretary of State can be ordered to write up to 3 revised summary statements, and the court shall then determine if they are sufficient and fair. If they are determined not to be, the court shall then write its own summary statement and order it to appear on the ballot, subject to appeals. All of this will make it extremely difficult, if not impossible, for Missourians to continue to employ the initiative and petition process. In effect, this power that we have put to good use for over a century is now being whittled away by the politicians and the courts. Our group, We Stand United, believes that we must answer this attempted power grab. We believe that Missourians should continue to have our say on issues that are important to us. We believe it is the right of the people of Missouri to take action when the lawmakers refuse to. We believe we must continue to champion laws that benefit so many of us in so many ways, like Medicaid expansion, minimum wage and paid sick leave, and reproductive freedom. Missourians have always stepped up when our lawmakers refused, and we will again. We must say our say.
When they try to ignore us, when they try to overturn laws we just passed, when they say we're not smart enough to understand the amendments on the ballot. Thank you. I hope you feel better. We have another Good afternoon. Are you guys feeling any fire in here at all?
I was just making sure because it was a little quiet. You want to give me one more of those big yells? Let me know how angry you are. I knew you could do it. Fantastic. Fired up. There you go. Bethany Mann is an environmental chemist and a toddler mom from St. Peter's. She serves as vice chair for the Missouri Democrats LGBTQ caucus. She is passionate about science, technology, education, and bringing Missourians together. Please welcome Bethany Mann. Thank you, Bethany. Thank you so much for standing United Missouri, and most of all, thank all of you for being here today. I'm Bethany Mann. I am running for Congress in Missouri's 3rd Congressional District. Now, I did not come to be a politician by training education, who my dad is. I'm a chemist. I grew up the daughter of an Air Force veteran and an evangelical mom who homeschooled us. I earned my chemistry degree, and I'm qualified to run because of my experience in manufacturing, agriculture. There's so many of you, so this is my first time speaking. I'm qualified to serve because of my experience in manufacturing, agriculture, energy, and water infrastructure. And I believe that we are stronger when we come together and we let our voices be heard. So I believe that our community we should save our say and how our community is built and grown. I believe that our water should be clean and free of environmental contaminants like lead and our students should be fully supported from pre-K to secondary schooling. And our healthcare access should be expanded, not limited or banned by politicians who would rather bail out big corporations than do what's best for working families. And we know what we voted for when those ballot measures came up. And this is not the first time they've overturned our vote. Missouri voters, let this government know that they should stay out of our private medical decisions and allow full access to reproductive health care. Instead, Republican lawmakers passed a bill to put abortion on the ballot yet again using deceptive language. This new law would make abortion illegal, punish doctors, and force people to report sexual assaults within a certain time frame and disclose their private medical information or possibly risk jail time.
work the law on the land. He fought hard to try and overturn Clean Missouri. And he enacts these policies that Missouri voters overwhelmingly opposed and overturned. He plans on enacting these cruel and unjust laws nationally, forcing his will on families across the country. As an extra insult, the night that they overturned our vote, Honor announced at 5:16 p.m. that he was going to finally host a virtual town hall. It was at 5:50, like 40 minutes later. And it really was just to rub salt in the wound, because those are two issues that he holds very personal. He believes that he should have the personal say over what happens to you and your family, not you. Honor believes that he has the power to take away rights and overturn elections, yet he continues to be too cowardly to face his own constituents. By silencing the will of the people, Missouri Republicans show weakness and fearful impotence, not strength. Restricting access to health care and denying bodily autonomy violates our universal human rights as they are outlined and written in the Geneva Convention. Overturning the will of the voters violates the sacred trust that leaders in a democratic republic rely on in functional governments. And Americans deserve the freedom to make their own health care and economic choices and have their voices heard at the ballot box. And so while these state lawmakers are doing the reverse of their jobs, the state's job should be to give you more power and more freedom, not to take away and restrict it. So while they were busy taking away our rights, Congress was working hard to make sure that we got essential programs. And I need to make sure that you know how critical these are, so that you can reach out to your senators and the congressmen to let them know that we will tolerate no cuts to Medicaid, no cuts to Social Security, no cuts to Medicare, but these are essential programs meant to protect We've already witnessed the devastating impact that limiting health care has done right here in this state. When the Affordable Care Act passed and they blocked Medicaid expansion here, rural hospitals all over the state closed or significantly shuttered services. This is an issue that's ongoing. It means that we rely so heavily on our rural first responders who do such a great job to fill in the gaps where our state and our federal lawmakers have failed us. We have restricted access to hospital care. In certain parts of the district, you have to drive 45 to an hour and a half to find just regular routine care, which has devastating impacts to everything from those who are experiencing heart attacks to Black moms who struggle to get the resources that they need to grow their families and have safe pregnancies. This congressional budget will also cut critical resources to programs like Head Start, and money that will go to programs like that benefit seniors, like Meals on Wheels, and things that support those of us at our most vulnerable times. And how a society treats the least of these is going to show how they will treat when they make all this money they talk about that they're going to have so much of it's going to finally trickle down. But the 80s have come and passed, we've never seen that trickle, and our infrastructure continues to grow. And finally, in this new budget, infrastructure spending is going to be truncated, it's going to be limited. That means that the projects that we relied on for federal funding for roads and clean water will diminish and disappear. We rely on infrastructure not just for bridges and roads, but also to make sure that our water is clean from lead. 80% of Missouri kids test positive for lead. We have 100-year-old pipes that have aging infrastructure. We have good unions here in the state who can build and raise up our middle class. And when we support them, they raise up the rights of all us workers.
to, I want to let you know that the most important thing you can do is to talk to your legislators right now and let them know that you will not tolerate any of these proposed cuts. It's also more critical than ever to make sure that you are reaching across the aisle and talking to your friends. In an age of disinformation and misinformation, where our phones are used not really to connect but to divide, use your phones to call your legislators and put them down and then go for a walk and talk to your neighbors. Because we truly are stronger when we come together. And my campaign to bring Missourians together means that all means y'all. Obstacles to voting are antithetical to a government that is built by the people. So we must limit the politicians' power who seek to control and divide us, and we must uplift each other and realize that these changes don't happen in a vacuum. They don't happen just because one or two groups get together and fight. It's going to take all of us working together to enact the change that we need. Because right now, it kind of sometimes, I don't know if you feel this way, sometimes it feels like it's all of us working against 13 or so billionaires. And some days it doesn't seem like we're doing so hot. So thank you all for being here. Your vote is your voice. Use it in these upcoming elections. And use it most importantly to bring each other together and uplift us all. Thank you.
We're going to do a couple more chants right now. If you'd like to stand, we love the energy. Stand right up. And this one's going to be, I'm going to say, Congress, Congress, hear our cry. And you're going to say, defend our rights or step aside. Congress, Congress, hear our cry. Defend our rights or step aside. Congress, Congress, hear our cry. Defend our rights or step aside. Congress, Congress, hear our cry. Defend our rights. Congress, Congress, hear our cry. Defend our rights or step aside. Congress, Congress, hear our cry. Defend our rights or step aside. Now you're all at home today because you believe in democracy, and I think that you know what that looks like. So I'm going to say, show me what democracy looks like, and you're going to say, this is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. This one goes, the vote's our voice, and you say, don't take our choice. The vote's our voice. 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 Don't take our choice.
All right, and our next
initiative process and make our government work for everyday Missourians like you and me. Let me start by asking you, do you believe that politicians in Jeff City are listening to you? No! They weren't listening this week, were they? No! I didn't hear you. Do you believe they're working for us? No! This is the people we are speaking right now. The problem, so here's the thing, folks. We vote for all of these policies that we want to see. We vote for the initiatives that are at the ballot box. We vote for what we need for working Americans in Missouri. We work for our neighbors. We want better policy that supports every worker, every non-worker, every retiree, every child in the state of Missouri. This week marks the end to the Missouri State Legislative session, and what have our politicians been doing with our time? They've been busy overturning the will of the people. And passing the Let Politicians Lie Act, also known as Senate Bill 22. We knew this was coming, but on their way out the door this past Wednesday, these out-of-touch politicians overturned and threatened 2 initiatives Missouri voted for this past November. Most of Proposition A is now undone, and Amendment 3 is being sent back to the ballot with extremely deceptive ballot language. The Let Politicians Lie Act puts our freedom and the use of the citizen initiative in serious jeopardy. It gives the Secretary of State the ability to write misleading ballot language for initiatives, and then to drag out the fight over that language until it's too late for movements like ours to collect enough signatures. For 117 years, since 1908, Missourians have had the constitutional rights to take the matters into our own hands when legislators fail to do their jobs. The Citizens Initiative is how we, the people, have our say in the laws that we live by. So what's at stake? Instead of, here's what's really happening, when voters are passing things that the politicians don't like, what do? They overturn it. When voters want to put something on the ballot, what do? They block it. When we use our democratic power at the ballot box, what do? They steal it. And this isn't about partisan politics. This happened in the 80s and under Democratic control when voters passed the Hancock Amendment to limit taxes, and it's happening again today. When politicians don't like what the people vote for, they take away our power. Prop A and Amendment 3. This isn't new, them attacking those. It's the exact same playbook they ran on the Puppy Mill Cruelty Act of 2011 and the Clean Missouri Act in 2018. In 2010, Missourians voted for a law to end puppy mill cruelty in our state. What happened? 1 year later, the legislature simply overturned it by getting its most pertinent provisions. This week, they did the same thing with Prop A. Voted into law in November 2024 and gutted by May of 2025. In 2018, Missourians voted to amend the state constitution with Clean Missouri, an anti-corruption and fair redistricting amendment. Then in 2020, legislators put it back on the ballot with confusing language and overturned what we had just passed. Does that sound familiar? Amendment 3, ring a bell, anybody? We're tired of ballot candy. We're not stupid. And we will not back down, and we will not give up our voice. On top of all of that, they've passed Senate Bill 22, which former state representative Crystal Quaid said means the citizen initiative process is effectively dead for anything the Secretary of State doesn't like. Like they've done before, a handful of politicians are overturning the will of the people. Millions of Missourians voted for these issues that they are overturning. And while telling us that we're too stupid to know what we voted for, and undermining our ability to have a vote at all in the future. This is an outright attack on our democracy. We will not stand for this. So what are we telling them? We will not be silenced. We will not back down, and we will not let this stand. We will fight. We will put a new initiative on the ballot. November 2026.
They were talking about calling your legislators. There is an app called 5 Calls. Raise your hand if you have the app 5 Calls on your phone. Oh, well, dang. Our action item might not even be applicable. But if you don't have it on your phone, if you want to get your phone out right now, so we're going to do a mock phone call because I know a lot of people don't like to make phone calls anymore. But 5 Calls makes it very easy. So, if you want, we're gonna act this out for you guys, okay? So go ahead. Oh, I'm gonna give you a minute to get your phones out and get 5 calls going. Because I can't. 5, like the number 5, and then calls, like a phone call. It's in the App Store. It's free. It's very user friendly. Okay. So we'll give you a minute to do that, and then we'll kind of go through how to use it. We all need a little help.
If you need help, stick your hand up in the air.
If you've already got that downloaded and you have to trace your handprint on our communal art fan, you're welcome to do that for a sec. And then we're going to practice phone calls.
Anybody else need help?
And don't be confused. He's handing out a piece of paper that has a QR code on it. That is not for 5 calls. That's for the song that we're going to sing after, okay? So, 5 calls, then we're going to sing a song because then we were going to do the other people. Music!
Those aides are working hard. I hope we thank them when we call. So if you're like me, you might call your senator or congressperson several times a week, maybe every day while you do your makeup. That's my method. Sometimes I know exactly what I want to say, and sometimes I use the 5-call app because I want to use their script so that I can't mess it up or get nervous. All right, when you use the 5-calls app, it provides a script for you. So you'll open it up, click on whatever issue. Oh, you put your zip code in first, and then you put in the issue that's important to you. It will give you a paragraph explaining what that issue is, and then on the bottom there's a blue bar that says "See your script." Click on that and it will give you an exact script if you want one. So I'm going to call, let's say, Congressman Launder right now.
Bob Onder's office. This is Suzanne speaking.
Hello, thank you for your time today. My name is Jenny Loomis. I'm a constituent from Jeff City, Missouri, and I'm calling to demand Robert Onder will reject Todd Blanchak as acting librarian of Congress, and vigorously support Robert Newland as the new librarian. The abrupt firing of Carla Hayden is another attempt of Trump to control the legislative branch of our government and must be met with strong opposition. Thank you for your time and consideration.
I'll let the congressman know.
Now, another thing that can happen when you call, the first time you call, you're going to need to probably give them your address. They need to know that you're a constituent of that representative, so it's okay to give it to them. And then when you call back in further times, which I do every day, you won't have to repeat all that information. I'll say, do you need any information from me? And they'll say,
I remember your voice from yesterday.
yep, sometimes. Or they might say, we've heard from you before. Yeah, so that's awesome. Sometimes, just as a pro tip, if you tend to get a little ranty on a call and say maybe say more things than their message box can fit, don't worry. Because it'll tell you that that message is too long, and you'll have an opportunity to re-record, and you just hit 4 if you want to start over again.
I'll just say that it is cheaper than a copay for therapy. So Josh probably hears from me on the way to work every day. Okay, so that's something that you can do. Very nice. So we talked about doing a little music therapy here as well. So passed out a QR code page, but if you don't see one, you can easily look up the lyrics for this song on your phone as well, since we have it out. If I Had a Hammer by Peter, Paul, and Mary is what we're going to sing, and yeah, we're going to have the words here in the song while we play it as well, so it's not karaoke. So, did Lauren, you want to come on up? She's going to kind of lead us with this. She is volunteering. They told me to try hard when I was in choir, so I'm not going to be doing the lead singing.
What she found was a community ready to learn, grow, and take action. Carrie isn't here to reinvent the wheel. She's here to help others learn how to drive it forward, together. Her creation is Community Together 417 in the Springfield, Missouri area. Shout out to Springfield. What she's done is make a collaboration of groups that brought everybody in her community together to make things more organized and bigger. Please welcome Carrie Stone.
These last few weeks. This has grown very quickly and very fast. Today, we stand here and we say no. You will not take away our right to choose what we vote for in Missouri. No. You will not ignore our right to vote. No, you will not take away our voice. In February, I was frozen from fear because, you see, this is very personal. I have a mom on Social Security, a husband on disability and Medicare. I have a transgender son that turned 30, and just the other day when they graduated college, they laid in my bed and said to me, "Mom, this is the strongest I've ever felt in my life." And my friends, I'm on Medicaid, and I'm one nasty blood clot away if I don't have my medicine. So let me just tell you, I was frozen in fear, anger, and depression. And I would Google protested Springfield, and it came up empty over and over. But February 22nd, my husband found a meeting, a nonprofit collaboration that was hosted by Greene County Dems. When I walked in there, I took a deep breath because for the first time in a long time, I was in a room with like-minded people. That meeting led to another, and then another, and I started writing them down. Groups, websites, names, events, and quickly my binder filled up. Then at some point, somebody said, "Hey, can I take a picture of that? What is that?" And I said, "Sure. I found it on the internet. Somebody told me. Go ahead, my messy handwriting, take a picture." And that day there was a spark. And it ran because I went and bought a second cell phone and I started a simple text chain. Just the first name and just a text. And I would write it down and I'd take a picture and I'd send it to somebody. And they sent it to somebody else. Currently, I have 116 that I text every single morning. But a few weeks ago, it changed. Because we were in a meeting and somebody said, "They're not working together. They're overlapping events. They're struggling. They're egos. They're gatekeeping." And the community spoke up. And I heard them because that's who I was. Since that day, February 22nd, 84 days ago, when we walked into that very first meeting, I have promoted 96 events in the Springfield and Jefferson City area. Their meetings, their rallies, their protests, their actions. What can we do? You can figure it out. You can learn. And this is only the third time I've stood in this beautiful building, and I have learned an awful lot. I did this because it's clear nobody's coming to save us. I'm doing this because I understand that the fight is ours, from the bottom up. It didn't start November 5th. This nightmare that we're living in started many years ago when I wasn't paying attention. I was raised in a religion until I was 24 and we were told not to vote. After leaving, I had to learn an entire new way of life. Eventually, I started living in California. I started voting for the Green Party because they sounded fun and they aligned with some of the things I felt. But then they never won, and I got depressed. In 2008, I began to pay attention differently, because after all, we were on the course to make history with our first multiracial president. I stopped looking at who to vote for the night before, and I began to learn about each candidate. But in November, I was one of you that woke up at 4:30 in the morning with that awful gut feeling. And when I turned on the news, I knew why. We had a new 47th president, and I knew we were in trouble. You see, I had taken the time to read Project 2025, and I listened to the great Maya Angelou, who said, when people show you who they are, that's right. So I stand before you today, again, third time, only my husband's first time in this building today, and say we must stand together to raise our voice to say no. No, you cannot take away our right to vote. No, you cannot take my child's right away for happiness. No, you cannot take away our earned sick leave. And no, you cannot take away my personal choice of health care. Everybody, take a moment, put both feet on the ground. Nice and solid. There's a Japanese saying that the best time to plant a tree was 50 years ago, but the second best time is right now. Today we plant our feet, and we say no. We, the people of Missouri, have spoken up for ourselves. We will continue to speak up for ourselves, and we will win. Yeah! We will not tolerate actions that undermine the will of our voters. We will show up, we will speak out, because we are doing this one community together.
Okay, so we've been talking all morning about our rogue legislators. So it seems like there's a disconnect with our leaders and their understanding of who they're working for. They work for the people, and we can vote them out. Yes. I think they forget that. Like, we put you here, so. But I think there's a disconnect with the voters as well. You know, we need to make sure we're not voting for people that are going to take away our rights. But we compiled a nice list of Missouri legislators and some quotes about things they have said about the initiative petition and basically how they think it's coming. of offensive how they think we're stupid, like they can't read, they don't know what they voted for. So we have a nice little list, and we're just going to quote them for you.
It's called projection.
Yeah, they don't know you know, apparently. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to start off with Andrew Koenig here. He is a Manchester Republican, and quote, he supported HB. Hold on, sorry, I'm starting at the wrong side. The summary that was on the ballot didn't fully explain the implications, and I think a lot of voters didn't realize what they were voting for. I knew what I was voting for, Andrew.
This one is from Representative Dean Clover. Says, we need to ensure the process isn't hijacked by out-of-state groups with deep pockets.
Where's my money, George Soros? Okay. All right, and then we have Bill Eichel. I see a lot of him. He's a Republican who welded screen with offensive signs everywhere. Okay, he said that the initiative petition process is being abused by groups who confuse voters with slick campaigns and vague language. He also thinks we can't read again. Okay, thank you. Thanks.
This from some Senator Denny Hoskins of Warrensburg. Too often voters see a short summary that sounds good but doesn't tell the whole story. We need to protect the process so it reflects true voter intent.
I mean, we already did. And he's like, no, are you sure? Are you sure? Go vote again. Okay. Then we have John Black from Marshfield. Voters thought they were just raising the minimum wage, but the sickleave mandate snuck in there, and it's a burden on small businesses. Yeah. No, we knew what we were voting for, guys. We knew. All right. Do we want to do a little bit more yelling?
Okay. This one is a little borrowing. I'm sorry. We're going to borrow this from Aretha Franklin. I'm going to say R-E-S-P-E-C-T, and you're going to say voters in Missouri. R-E-S-P-E-C-t. Voters in Missouri. R-E-S-P-E-C-t. Voters in Missouri. R-E-S-P-E-C-t. Voters in Missouri. Stand that up. Let's get it moving. All right. R-E-S-P-E-C-t. Voters in Missouri. R-E-S-P-E-C-t. Voters in Missouri. R-E-S-P-E-C-t. Voters in Missouri. R-E-S-P-E-C-t. Voters in Missouri. All right, this time, your job, since this is the show me state, we're going to say, we'll show you. And this is for our legislators. So, when our legislators won't let us down, what do we say? We'll show you! When they act like we're too dumb to understand what we're voting for, what do we say? We'll show you! When they deliberately overturn our efforts and pretend that outside influences are determining our choices instead of our own brains and thoughtfulness for our communities, what do we say? We'll show you! Let's do that 3 more times. We'll show you! We'll show you! We'll show you! We'll show you!
All right, we're going to have Bethany Mann. She's going to speak a little bit more, and then we'll do some more singing. I'm the right man for the job.
So what can we do at the federal level? Do we have power? Yes, we do.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to get big money out of our elections.
Well, our politicians are over in Washington, D.C., or they're out in the Middle East, comparing the size of each other's plane cabins. We're going to be on the ground
working on solutions that benefit all families and not just the 13 billionaires we all seem to work for. And it is time to meaningfully ratify the Equal Rights Amendment. And it's also time to make sure that we're properly respecting American workers by passing the PRO Act and making sure that all workers can bargain collectively for better working conditions, wages, paid sick time, and safe environmental conditions, and anything else that workers in this country deserve and should get. And like so many people have said, your vote is your voice and you must use it, and it is time to pass the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. Gerrymandering, prison gerrymandering, single household votes, the SAVE Act, they're all deliberate attempts to divide and distract us and to keep us from winning fair and safe and fair elections. So I'm going to borrow some words from Congressman John Lewis. If not me, who? And if not now, when? And I have more hope than ever that by coming together, bringing Missourians together, bridging the divide, and joining hands and talking to our neighbors, talking to our legislators, that we can build the society that we want, that our kids deserve, and that all of us require to have safe, thoughtful, and prosperous lives here in this country. So please take the time to get involved with all these people who set up tables and who want to help you empower and lift up your voice. Come see me in the back. I need some help knocking on doors and talking to people, because I believe that as we bring Missourians together, we will start winning these elections, and we will reclaim our power here in the state. We're getting close on time, I know, so ready to go? Fantastic. Lindsay Browning is going to have some closing remarks for Respect Missouri voters, and then we've got a little bit extra to do, and we'll get back to Tina and Jenny. So please, Lindsay, come on up.
So over the past several months, we've held 25 town halls across the state of Missouri. We need every Missourian to join us. We have multiple ways you can help out. If you're vocal like me and you don't mind speaking up, come join me. If you're somebody who can get a group together, your church group, your ladies eating circle, like guys hunting group, we don't care. Spread the message, get it out. If you're a tech person and you're like, I'm not a people person, I don't like people, I'm gonna sit at home and do something on my computer, we need tech support. We need everybody. We need people calling. We need people willing to do mailing flyers. If you have a specialty or you want to get involved, I guarantee we will find a way for you to join us. So what is at stake here? Our way of life is at stake. This is democracy. If they can overturn every vote that we do at the ballot box, we do not have a voice. Because we have had our own representatives from Columbia, Missouri, in certain districts say, I don't care what my constituents want, I'll vote the way I think. What do we tell them? I don't know about you, but they got voted in, and they can get voted out. And that goes for the federals, too. I've been to D.C., and I've tried to contact Senator Hawley multiple times. He will not meet with us, but I know his staffer very well. So what we're here to say is our democracy, is our voice to have anything passed, is quiet. We cannot let those elected dictate how we live without a choice. So what are we asking? So this campaign is only as powerful as each of us, every one of us is involved. It will take roughly 2,500 signatures this summer. Or 2,500 volunteers, collecting 300,000 signatures in 12 weeks. All we need is a couple hours. If you've got 2 hours during the weekend or 2 hours on a Tuesday evening and you don't mind just sitting outside a library or a post office or a Walmart or a Sam's or Target or Kohl's, give us a call. We need you. This isn't wishful thinking, it's a proven strategy. So in Michigan, a grassroots campaign to end gerrymandering started with a simple Facebook post. With 4,000 volunteers, they gathered 480,000 signatures and won. We are using their same successful model here in Missouri. And when we win, we'll show everyday people in our state that they can, other states, that they can do the same. We are one of 26 states with a ballot initiative citizen start. We need to protect and stay one of those 26 states. So, if you creative ways, communication, volunteers, we need help designing material. Are you a social media expert? We can use your expertise. Can you splice videos and add music? We need that expertise. If you've only got an hour and it's a one-time shot, we still need you involved. You don't have to give up your entire free time to come support this issue. There's a place for everyone in this movement. I didn't start here. I didn't start for labor rights. I started when there was riders on insurance and they told me that as a cancer survivor, they wouldn't cover me with cancer. That's wrong. We got the Affordable Care Act passed. They're trying to Here in Missouri, we have other processes under attack. The unemployment, I lobbied in this very building in March, in snow and in the ice and the blowing wind, because we had a snowstorm that morning. They're trying to turn our unemployment benefits from 20 weeks down to 8. That's to give big businesses and employers a break. I don't know about you, but the most you can get in the state of Missouri for unemployment is $327 a week. And they want to give you 8 weeks of that, and that's it. So never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. It's the only thing that ever has. So this isn't just about one election or one issue. This isn't a Republican or a Democrat or a Green Party or an independent. This is about Missouri citizens reserving the right to bring something to the ballot box. We will not and we cannot let the state ignore our voices and tell us how to live. Article 1, Section 1 of the Missouri State Constitution says that all power is derived from the people. That's our that helps us. Parents, grandparents, elderly, Medicaid, Medicare, homeowners, small business owners, minorities, single moms, single dads. People need a voice, and ours will not be silenced. So let's tell the people that are supposed to be representing us here in this building to respect our voices and our choices. We have a table back here for Respect Missouri voters.
so much. We're going to do a couple more chants, and then we have some cool things planned for all of us. I'm going to start you out. Okay, the chant, your response is, we stand united. All right, you hear it? You're going to say that after each thing I say, and then the last time I'm going to signal you. Yeah, stand on up, stand up. We're standing united. The last time when I talk about fire, we're going to say it 4 times in a row. So when they try to divide us, we stand united. They think they can lie to us, but we stand united. They may try to frighten us, but we stand united. The fire's been ignited. Now we stand united. We stand united. We stand united. We stand united. Woo! We have one more chant, and then we're going to gather up for a photo. This one got inspired by the rain that we've had at almost every protest we've had so far. Raise your hand if you've been to a rain protest. Yes. And you know what? Raise your hand if this is your first protest. Welcome to the party. We're so glad you're here with us. So this one, you're going to just repeat exactly what I say. Drip, drop, drip, drop. Drip, drop, drip, drop. We're getting started, we won't stop. We're getting started, we won't stop. Every minute, every hour. Every minute, every hour. We begin to feel our power. We begin to feel our power. Splish, splash, splish, splash. Splish, splash, splish, splash. We're a wave about to crash. We're a wave about to crash. Whoa. Great. We're gonna do that one more time, and then I'm gonna tell you we're gonna do the wave instead of just surprise you at the end. Okay, this is our last chant. Okay, and we'll start our wave on this side, so like put your knees in it. All the way down, okay? Ready? Drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop, drip, drop. We're getting started, we won't stop. We're getting started, we won't stop. Every minute, every hour. Every minute, every hour. We begin to feel our power. We begin to feel our power. Splish, splash, splish, splash. Splish, splash, splish, splash. We're a wave about to crash. We're a wave about to crash.
Very good. No rain, you know. Very nice. Okay, so we're gonna take a couple pictures. I think they're taking them from up top. So what we're gonna want to do is squish in together, and we're gonna hold up our sign.